What's a bet you made that you wish you never won? When I was 16, my girlfriend Emily bet me $20 that I couldn't get her ex-boyfriend Jordan to ask me to hang out. She said he was too proud and would never want to be friends with her new boyfriend. I thought it would be the easiest money I'd ever make. Emily and Jordan had dated for 8 months before she dumped him for me. She always painted him as this jealous, controlling guy who couldn't handle losing. But I'd never actually talked to him myself, so I figured why not test her theory and make some quick cash. I started small, commented on his Instagram posts about basketball, liked his stories. When I saw him struggling with calculus in study hall, I offered to help. He seemed suspicious at first, probably wondering why his ex's new boyfriend was suddenly being friendly. But after a few days, Jordan started responding. We'd text about homework, argue about which NBA team was better. I even invited him to shoot hoops at the park near school. To my surprise, he actually showed up. We played one-on-one for 2 hours. The guy was genuinely funny, way different from how Emily described him. He made jokes about teachers we both hated, told stories about his little sister that had me cracking up. For the first time, I started feeling guilty about the whole bet thing. After 2 weeks of hanging out, Jordan finally asked if I wanted to come over to his house Friday night. Bingo. I'd won the bet. But something felt wrong about celebrating. His basement was set up like a mini arcade. We played Call of Duty, ordered pizza, talked about everything except Emily. I was actually having fun. This wasn't some weird manipulation anymore. Jordan was becoming a real friend. That's when he opened up about his feelings. He told me he still wasn't over Emily, that seeing us together in the hallways killed him. He said he'd been hoping if we became friends, maybe she'd realize he'd changed and want him back. He asked if I thought he had a chance. My stomach dropped. Here was this guy being completely honest with me, trusting me with his deepest feelings, and the whole friendship was built on a lie. I wanted to tell him the truth right there, but I was in too deep. How do you explain that everything started as a bet? I mumbled something about how Emily had moved on and maybe he should too. He nodded sadly and said he knew I was probably right, but thanked me for being cool about everything. Said it meant a lot to have someone to talk to. The next Monday, I collected my $20 from Emily during lunch. She was laughing about how predictable Jordan was, how easy it had been to manipulate him through me. She made jokes about him probably crying himself to sleep, thinking about their relationship. I bet he thinks you actually care about him, she said, counting out the bills. God, he's so desperate for attention. You should keep hanging out with him and see how far you can push it. That's when it hit me who the real problem was. Emily wasn't the victim in their breakup. She was the toxic one, and I'd helped her mess with someone who'd been nothing but genuine with me. Jordan found out about the bet 2 days later, when Emily bragged to her friends about it in the bathroom. One of them felt bad and told him everything. He confronted me by my locker Thursday morning, and I'll never forget the look of complete betrayal in his eyes. Was any of it real? He asked. The basketball games? The homework help? Or was I just your little science experiment? I tried explaining that the friendship had become real, that I actually cared about him, but he walked away before I could finish. Can't blame him. Trust, once broken, doesn't just magically repair itself. The worst part came 2 weeks later during lunch. Jordan walked by our table and Emily loudly said, "Hey Jordan, how's your new best friend treating you?" He stopped, looked directly at me, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "You know what's funny? I actually thought someone finally saw me as more than just Emily's pathetic ex. I thought I'd made a real friend. Guess I was wrong about that too." The cafeteria went dead silent. Everyone was staring. Emily was smirking like she just won some kind of prize, but all I felt was shame burning in my chest. Emily and I broke up the following week when I realized I couldn't be with someone who'd manipulate people for fun. That $20 taught me the most expensive lesson of my life. Some bets destroy more than they could ever be worth.